that's who he really is. But meanwhile, I've seen his dick many times. That's not me too. So he has like a real 0 to 60 cock.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like Ferrari.
Yes. He goes from mushroom cap to fucking, like when you play Super Mario and some of the mushrooms lift you up. He goes from the mushroom to the boom. Pretty impressive cock and shit. I wouldn't give him credit on that either. I never, to this day. Because it did market. I was walking from the monitor when he came out. I was like, motherfucker, dick is luscious. Apparently, I'm not, not that I wanted to suck it, but I'm like, if I had to give it a time.
The monitors, like backing away.
I'm muttering and shit. I'm like, it's fucking luscious. I wish I had that dick.
I'd chew on that thing like a piece of cinnamon.
Don't get silly, but if he ever gets depressed over a girl and cuts it off, if I can catch it before he throws it in the crowd. It did. I was impressed by it. Shit. First I didn't believe that. First I thought it was a joke, like maybe you had gotten him a prosthetic or something like that.
No.
It was bigger than normal.
It was. I think he'd sort of fluffed himself up a little bit.
He's definitely, you think,
yeah,
count on it. Even if we weren't making a movie, he was back there fluffing himself. That's what I assumed and shit. But still, even if I fluffed myself to the point of fucking like...
fully erect, it's
yeah! Even fully erect, it wouldn't look like that, man. I was impressive and shit. But I still never told him anything about it. And then Affleck came over and watched the movie. And he had never read the script or anything like that. He came over to the house and said, come over and watch the flick. And he watched the flick. I went off and did other shit. When the movie was over, I went into the fucking room to talk to him. And the second thing out of his mouth, he goes, you realize that Muse's dick is one fucking pump away from total liftoff. And I was like, you mean erection? He goes, oh, come on, dude. Like, look at that fucking dick. Look at it. Oh, and there's just one more fucking, ounce of blood, and it's flying. He's going, and I said, yeah, it's weird, man. Like, I have had sex with a dick that soft. Not personally, put it in. But I myself,
that's what you prefer. It's like, that's too hard for me.
Make the ass, make it soft. Put your balls in.
Oh yeah.
He was like, come on, dude. I've seen Muse's dick more than I've seen mine. And I said, I know, me too. I think everybody that knows
that's a long list of people.
He goes, that ain't him, man. That ain't him. That dude's fucking clearly tugging it and shit like that. And next time I saw Muse, I was just like, dude, I saw Affleck and he watched the movie. And he goes, yeah. And I said, the second thing he said to me was that he thought you were one stroke away from total liftoff. And he goes, get the fuck out of here. I said, yeah, that's what he says. And he goes, well, you fucking tell Affleck for me, that ain't me on the way up, that's me on the way down. Now, I had the same reaction as everybody else. I was like, that's really fucking funny. Walked away, and I was like, I can't wait to see Affleck and tell him that shit. And I did see Affleck soon after. And I was like, hey, man, fucking, you said to you, motherfucker. Here I was, holding the fire and shit, stoking the flames. I was like, you said that he was one pump away from total liftoff. He said that wasn't him on the way up, that's him on the way down, bitch. And Affleck looked at me like fucking blank face. He's like, what does that even mean? And I was like, well, and I stopped and I was like, I don't. I gotta be honest, it sounded way funnier when he said it and way more sense. And fucking Muse after I told him to come, Muse goes, what was the first thing he said about the movie? First thing he noticed. I was like, what do you mean? He said, you said the second thing he said. I was like, oh, the first thing he fucking noticed that you were wearing, that your pubes were shaped into a heart. And Muse goes, I knew he was gay. Can we get a copy of the Smodcast book? Is there one out there in the audience, May or Jim? Can you toss one up here or bring one up here? Don't toss because I can't see, and it might just hit me in the face. And be like, that's Smodcast, how are we? Toss a book on up here, boys.
There's a door opening.
I hear someone. Yeah, it's all bright out there, man. Somebody left. Somebody's like,
Racing up the books.
Why are they bringing books out? Let's get out of here. We might learn something.
There's a fucking university. We don't want to see books.
Yeah, just toss it. thing is we're going to need 2 books. Can we get another?
There's only one fan here.
Copy of the book and whatnot. Scott and I did this the first time we did the live Smodcast in New Jersey, and we had an insanely fucking good time reading. Somebody suggested, like, when this is a Smodcast book. It's called Shooting the Shit with Kevin Smith, but it's really the best of Smodcast. Basically, it transcribes a lot of the earliest podcasts that we did, and people were just like, the biggest question I had when this book came out, and again, mind you, this is a book based solely on our podcast. All the words from this book came from all the Smodcasts that we've done up to a certain point.
They're just transcriptions.
And they're literally just transcriptions. And the biggest question I got when the book came out was like, hey man, you doing an audiobook version of the book? So, and I thought people were kidding and shit. And then you're like, yeah, right. And they're like, no, really, when's it come out? And you're like, oh, you're just dumb. I said, but while we were we did this once at Red Bank and shit, somebody was like, well, why don't you read it to see what it would sound like. And we decided we were going to read out loud the audiobook recording of this mod, and it was kind of meta because we'd already done the bit, and then somebody transcribed it, and then we were like, okay, let's see if we can take the bit and read it again and inject it with the same life when we first did it, and then some brilliant motherfucker in the audience was like, switch roles! And we did, and man, it was just pretty fucking awesome. So, what I think we should do is, let me see. I'm going to go to page 210, Scott. 210? Scott, it's Smodcast 57, Terry's Pizza. Kevin explores the world while high.
Woo! Yeah.
For this performance, Scott Mosier will be portraying Kevin Smith, and Kevin Smith will be portraying Scott Mosier. Scott has the first line. This is the audiobook version of Smodcast. Page 210 from Smodcast 57, Terry's Pizza.
Did I talk about this? I got stoned fairly recently. I spent all last week in getting stoned.
You brought up being stoned. I don't know if it was in reference to a while ago.
4-day weekend. All I did was get stoned.
The July 4th weekend.
Yes.
Celebrating our country's birthday. Baked off your butt.
Did I say baked off your butt?
Isn't that weird? I thought it was rather tame, man.
It was like, baked off your butt.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that really hurts, Scott. I am a little baked. I'm not necessarily off my butt. For a show that uses words like sloppy party bottom and baked off your butt was really tame. It was like the fucking, like, and now a return to the wonderful world of Disney. Baked off your butt.
I was like, we're free! Ooh, I'm real free. I can't, you know what? I tried using a fucking bong, couldn't handle it.
What about a vaporizer?
What do you mean? Put it into a vaporizer? Like mix it into some Vicks vapor rub and rub it on the chest?
What I like about that is, like, there was a time where I didn't know what a vaporizer was. No, you can buy it. Is it a vaporizer? Yeah, it's like a vaporizer. You can go to a head shop and you buy it, and it's basically like it steams you.
It does all the work for you?
Yeah.
Man, that's real lazy.
Well, what I understand is that it's for people, I mean, you probably won't feel this way because it's for people who don't like to smoke.
Right.
So it takes out the smoking element.
It just gives you the herb.
And I thought it was like, I know very little about it, but, you know, it preserves the THC. Is that what it is?
I believe it's called THC. It's amazing. And I'm telling you about getting high.
There was a time where you were like fucking, I was grasshopper, man.
This is me schooling you.
You're like some fucking cross-legged Asian dude in the mountains with a very long mustache, and you're just like, the weed is THC.
The THC.
I'm like, with Vicks Vapor Rub? No!